fishing game and wildlife or whatever would even approve
Yeah, let's
us
have
doing
that.
something like that. either.
Are we
Well,
allowed to?
yeah.
If you
You're
want
live
to
right
do
now.
it.
Oh, never mind.
She's got us hooked up, ready to go, so guess we can start.
Are you hooked up?
Yes.
I'll call the Dixon County Commission to order. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I don't think we have any additions to our agenda today, did we, John?
I would like to add 5 minutes for non-elected personnel.
Okay.
There'll be an executive session
Yes.
under other business.
Yes.
Okay, with the addition of a short executive session added to our agenda, I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The consent agenda are the minutes of the September 5th work session and regular meeting. Payroll of $236,112.28. Fund expenditures of $248,555.84.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Commissioners' comments and other committee reports. Lynn, you said you had attended something with Fort Riley there?
Yes. Yesterday, they had their 9/11 observance, and General Funk gave some remarks. They also have a 9/11 Global War on Terrorism monument over there, and anytime someone has died in the line of duty or from Fort Riley overseas, they go ahead and invite those families, but they added 4 names this past year to the monument. So anyway, I did attend that, and of course it was a very solemn event by nature of it, but also, you know, the reminder of what had taken place on 9/11 years ago. And the other few things that I have to attend, I attended a meeting that was part of their kind of continuing education for the KUC. It was in Wichita, and it was a budget meeting, and it was kind of interesting. There were quite a few from across the state, Norton County and Osborne County and southeast Kansas and El Dorado, Wichita, and so on, but there were probably 35 or so of us there. County commissioners as well as department heads from some counties. And it was at Wichita, and it was a helpful meeting. Kind of went over some things that probably most of us know already, but still it's good to, might say, sharpen the saw on that. Next week I've got a Central Kansas mental health meeting that I represent the county on as a board member, and that will be in Salina. And then there's a Military Affairs Council breakfast on the 26th of September that I plan to attend over at Junction City. And of course, if there's anyone else interested in attending that, I would just need to let Brad or Janelle know. And the reservation deadline isn't till September 23rd, so we've got some time on that. But that would be all I have.
Okay. Craig?
Janelle and I were on a phone call with the North Central Regional Planning Commission Monday, probably 1:45. It was their audit that they were doing. Something that was supposed to be just a work session turned into called the meeting to order. They found out that you had to have more than 51% of the members of the board had to be elected officials, and the gentleman from Marshall County, or well, I shouldn't say gentleman, one of the commissioners resigned, but they were able to fix it or correct a problem by one of the people who was on as a non-elected personnel, a business person, moved over, so we were able to. And the problem was, if we wouldn't have done it till next, the funding would have stopped. You can't receive funds if you don't have the 51%. And then 35% have to be non-elected, so there is some area in there and stuff. Got an email from Mr. Riot. I guess it'd be his concerns about the custodial work out at the fairgrounds and stuff, wanting to, his idea is to keep the way it is currently. So, pass it.
I did receive a phone call from Larry Wright also,
Yeah.
and I think he's just kind of requesting we revisit that, and if there's other options, he's just kind of concerned about procedurally or what's going to take place as far as Sterl Hall and the custodial work and the budgeting part of it. So,
Well, I believe with what we heard down at the department head meeting, there's going to be some turmoil down there until they get the executive secretary
I think
hired.
so.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I was unaware that she had resigned.
yeah.
It's very abruptly.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Craig, would you plan on going this afternoon?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, John
Okay.
Yeah.
Pilgrim and Craig and I will
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
attending a meeting out at Russell on health. Do you know for sure Janelle just, who's putting that meeting on, or is that the case? Casey's putting that on?
Did he say the
Not
KC?
positive. I thought it was called the Kansas Local Health Department Organization. Is what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure who was putting it on. And I do have no Central Juvenile Detention Board meeting next Wednesday, and we do move that around. This particular meeting will be at in Riley County, so.
Laverne, also, I was just going to mention, part of our agenda of the work study session this morning, we did meet with department heads, and Laverne kind of chairs that or leads the discussion, but we did meet with department heads and elected officials, and just kind of to get an updates, and we find those very helpful, but also, whenever we have those are open to the public, and so if anyone ever wants to attend those or have a question, we just basically receive some updates and information. I find it very helpful.
Yes, that's, like I say, once a month, I think it is important to meet with department heads and keep abreast of what all the departments are doing. And it is, when you get the report, it's of all the training sessions coming up here and all the things that it is, every department's got something going on, it seems like that. Okay. We move on to presentations, petitions, proclamation, and other public comments. Guess we have none today, so Janelle's filling in for Brad, and I guess Brad's report is that he's going good with his surgery. And back, I don't know if he's resting comfortably, but he's back in his room probably by now.
I think so, yes. He did have an update for you, a couple things. Sheriff is arranging extradition from Marshallfield, Missouri for a cost of $532. That's coming out of the diversion fund. The fencing bid was awarded to Banner Fence from Woodbine for Detroit Sewer, the Sewer District Number 3. That amount was $7,652.35, and I believe you saw that earlier. The county EOP, which is the Emergency Operations Plan, expires this month. Chancey is currently in Topeka for training for that. He's gone all week. and he'll learn how to, he'll learn about the updates and how to renew that. You also received residential sales history data from 2007 to this year. I believe we talked about that last week, and Brad went through and put together a quick little sheet with that information on it. You'll,
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it a little bit, if we could, get that.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I didn't want you to move on to the next one.
okay.
If you got any more to say,
I do have more.
Okay, well, then go ahead and I'll let you finish up.
Whatever you want to do is
No,
fine.
I may be repeating what you're going to say.
No, I probably won't, because I'm
Okay.
just going to move on with Brad's report.
Okay. I requested this last week and stuff, and I think you'll find it interesting that this, what the 207 was $30,515,417, was our high year and stuff. I might give Tim a copy of this so he could have it.
Okay.
I think it tells what the recession has done to our market stuff for buildings and stuff, and this year to date we're 11,648,000, which I don't think you're gonna be one of the lower, in the bottom third of what we have had in the past.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Yeah, I
comparable to
noticed.
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
But 2007, it seemed like it's almost double the amount of sales that we've had
Mhm.
since that, and I don't know, was that what contributed to that? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Actually, we just have a sales ratio report.
I think it would be the expansion of Fort Riley.
That's probably a
Yeah,
good, a good point there,
Yeah,
so.
because that was, after that, the economy tanked, but 206, 207, 205 is when Fort Riley, the troops came back from Germany and stuff, and the Big
Right.
Red One came back, so that would have been in my opinion, that would have been what would have drove the sales and the amount of money.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. We have received payment for the damages to Solomon Road, to the chip seal that was done there, and that was $1,386. An invoice is being sent out to the motorist for roughly $16,000 for the damage to Mink Road from the I-70 accident, so that's been, the I-70 accident detour, so that's been billed out.
What was the amount of money?
About $16,000, it was just
Okay.
right under
Okay,
that.
okay.
We're obtaining bids from the concrete contractors to repair Northwest 14th Street Bridge from the damages from that accident, and we'll send an invoice to the motorist as well. So we've had several in the past few months. Unfortunately, hopefully that trend does not continue. The mowing tractors have begun their final mow out of the year, so they're going to be mowing a wider in the ditches than normal. Hopefully that will allow for minimal growth with the heat and the cooler weather coming up. So, and then John's giving you a briefing on the overlay project. You also received a copy of the financials for the month for August.
Right.
So
Did you
we're
see
getting
it?
down to the end of the year, so we'll continue to kind of watch where we're at with that. Some departments in particular, just Martin's in particular with the nature of that business, so.
But you don't see anything too far out of line on?
I don't,
anything?
no. The department managers are very good about watching their budgets and trying to stay in line there with everything that's going on, so. And that's all that I have for the report.
So we did receive some damages on Solomon Road.
We did, yes.
And these other ones are more or less, we'd be waiting to see when we,
Correct.
yeah, I think it might be worth mentioning that Martin and John was in earlier in our work session and discussing our overlay project with our contractor, and there's 8 miles on Key Road that we don't feel at this time are satisfactory done, and we've been having meetings with him and with the contractor, and actually are going to withhold some of the payments. They've agreed that we could withhold part of the payment for that until we decide the condition that the road's going to be in and whether it's going to get better or it's going to get worse. So
Right.
it is, like I say, I drove one part of it this morning, and I think too that it's not up to the satisfactory that it should be, and so the public might want to know that we are concerned about Key Road, and that we will be in negotiations with our contractor in the future and see where we come on that. But it seemed like the other 32 miles that they did was done excellent work, and that entire 8 miles is just not in that same condition. So
I think it's important to point out on that that we are communicating with Schilling Construction.
Right.
But I think it's fortunate we have a county engineer, John Goff. Martin is doing, I mean, they know what it's supposed to look like when it's done right, and they have questions, and we also have Caw Valley Engineering involved in that. So there is a standard that, and our expectation was what we laid out in the contract. So, and from what I understand, Schilling has another project, KDOT project, so they had to load up their equipment, and they've left the site, but they are aware and of what our concerns are.
That's true.
And I appreciate our staff stepping up on that and kind of taking the bull by the horns and addressing the issue immediately. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes, keep on.
but I think they did reach a very good agreement with Schilling yesterday on, at least we are withholding some payment until the decision is made whether the road is going to improve or get worse.
Yeah, and extended the warranty too.
Yes, and they did extend the warranty on, agree to extend the warranty on the road, so
Right.
it's just a difference of opinion on their opinion of what went wrong and our opinion of what went wrong, so we will. But I think that the public needs to know that we are taking steps to try to rectify that.
Well, and they're out of Manhattan. They're a company we've dealt with, and they've been in business a long time, and I know they're, I think they'll step up and work with us, and they've indicated they will. So.
Okay. Notices and communications. We did have one invitation here from Fort Riley. This is from the clerk of the district court. If either one of you want to look at their report. Did get one letter here. We've got it's from the Abilene Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be hosting a public government forum on Tuesday, October the 29th at 7 p.m. And as Craig had mentioned, that is when commissioners will be at Wichita at our KC meeting. And so they're having a panel, and they wanted one representative from Dixon County. So Janelle give you this letter, and we might have to decide who can be here that would go there and represent us on that.
Okay.
This is just a report that John gave us on the meeting that they had with Shilling Construction on the road, and if you want
Yeah.
to look at that,
Just look at it real quick.
shows, the third shows the payment process of what we're withholding, and okay, I think that's all the notices of communications. You didn't notice anything on the computer?
I meant just the different letter I.
Oh, that came on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a resolution to correct a road vacating that was done in 1992, and apparently there was a motion by the board to do it, but there was no resolution to back it up. Is that the?
That's correct.
So all we are doing is just passing the resolution, which the board in 1992 already approved, but didn't
Pass the resolution.
didn't pass the resolution.
Right, that's all that's needed.
So I'd move that we adopt resolution 091213. This is correcting the information as far as the road vacation from dated previously 11/30/1992.
You might say where that was at,
Oh, okay.
but it's been closed for a long time.
If we could go ahead and get the second, and then during discussion, I'll go ahead.
I'll second it.
Okay. So, just to get more information before we vote on this, this is a resolution that is correcting a vacate of a certain section of roadway. This is from November 30th, 1992. And this was in Lincoln Township of Dickinson County. And basically, as was mentioned by Janelle, it had been voted on, but a resolution had not been attached previously, so this is kind of a housekeeping matter.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I made 2 copies, so we have 2 originals. Because
Okay.
we have to file one and then I keep one.
Okay. Was there just 2 then?
Yeah, there's just 2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, did you have anything else?
I did not.
Craig, do you
Oh,
want to go into executive
yeah,
session?
let me just
now?
ask a question here
Okay.
about the Schilling Road.
Okay.
The payment won't be due till September 26th?
September 26th is when the check will be sent.
Okay, and we're gonna withhold 900,000 out of that, okay.
Right.
We'll have to make a motion at that time to withhold that. Okay, I was just reading here what Chad had wrote.
Okay.
And there's nothing in here that he signed with Schilling on his page here.
No.
I mean, it was just retainage of us, $300,359 was here. So he had nothing to do with that retainage that we'll be holding. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just,
Now you brought up another question that maybe I should ask Doug. When they guarantee us that they are going to stand behind this for 2 years, are we going to have written documentation of that? And how do you put the evaluation you know, if it goes bad? I mean, what kind of documentation would you expect, Doug?
I expect documentation with the guarantee, and we would have to have the conditions set forth as how the determination of the condition of the road is to be determined.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise you have the old, yeah, I'll take care of it, don't worry.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's got ways in it now, and they say those will disappear, where if they don't disappear, then it's not right.
Yeah, I've read the emails for the next 30-day
Yeah.
period that's coming up. But I would suggest to you, before you go sending out $900,000, that we have an agreement worked out that meets the guarantee that's been proposed. And
Well, that's
it's all
why I was-
possible. We just need to work out the details, and I'm sure when Brad gets back, well, then we'll do that, or we'll do it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, for me, us or Call Valley out there, we with some kind of a flatness out, you know, which they use, you know, 12-foot deal, and then you measure off, mark where it's at, and then you just determine from this point on, you know, what the variation is to be. And there's going to be, you know, you can have so much deflection, but you need to start from this point on. Then we need to, in my opinion, we need to go out there and, as a county and Call Valley and determine what it is now, the conditions in, and then 30 days and a year from now, see, you know, if it's more than normal wear and tear.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that Call Valley's been involved in this.
Right, yeah.
All the way through, and probably did some design in this, so they would have a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of input. And I'm gonna guess that Call Valley's and John's opinions would probably match up.
We do have the video that Martin
Mm-hmm.
and had taken, so, but I'll talk with John and see what other documentation or pictures, what have you, that we can do right now, and then in 30 days we'll revisit this.
And then, you know, Martin said they patched those yesterday. We need, you know, Martin needs to have a written record of that in the file, you know, pictures of it. I mean, I'm sure, hopefully he did it, but if not, we can, you know, go out and take pictures of today
Right.
and the location of those spots.
And for those of the public that are interested, it is a usable road. It
Yes.
is something the emergency vehicles will be able to utilize. But just the fact, comparing it to the other portions of the road that were done, and also the standard that was expected, it just, you know, doesn't meet, and there's been some things go wrong with it. And so, you know, we're looking to correct the situation, and that is the leverage we have, is withholding part of the payment.
Right.
And letting our professional staff, you know, John Goff, look at it, as well as Caw Valley, and so it's a work in progress.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess my concern is not to sign off on this too soon, because I feel like this problem may get worse going through the winter or whatever, going through a harvest period where there's more truck traffic on it, and see what happens after those conditions.
Right.
Okay, any other questions before we go to
No.
executive session? Need to state who you want.
Yeah, I move that we go into executive session with the following exceptions of the open meeting law for non-elected personnel. Is there a second?
And who do you want included in the executive
Just the
session?
commissioners at this time. If we want to have, if Doug wants to stand out, you know, just, I'll let the other commissioners think we need to have you here, Doug, we'll let you know.
Okay.
We can always
Yeah.
come back
Yeah,
into
right.
session and then
Yeah.
go back if
Yeah.
we do need the legal
Okay.
Yeah.
expertise, so.
Yeah, well,
I don't think we do, but the other commissioners might think we do.
And it is 11:30 now, so I would second that motion.
And that was for
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for non-personnel.
Non-elected personnel.
Non-elected person. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.